What is up, everybody?
It's the one Disney movie that
Good morning, Vietnam.
Yo.
How you doing, Tim?
Good.
Doing good? You doing amazing?
Do I have the Tim Came on?
I don't. Yeah,
Yes.
you do, actually. Hey, there you go.
Well done,
So
sir.
welcome to episode COVID-19.
Canceled. Yep. See you
It was
guys.
canceled. It's episode 19. I mean, what? Ooh, was that me?
No, it was not.
That was definitely me.
Oh, I was saying it was one of us.
Said good morning, Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Anyways, welcome to episode 19 of Uncalled For. Every Monday night we get together and make terrible puns that disappoint Chat as well as Dan. And you know he loves it though, don't you?
No,
What do you
I
know?
don't.
You
I don't love it.
You love the
I
puns.
don't. They show me how far you all have fallen.
They're great. But speaking of great, Tim found a tennis ball.
I did. It was right by my feet.
It looks rather used by Ranger.
It smells
I felt
rather
the
used by
same way.
Ranger.
Wait, you smelt the tennis ball?
No, just it's holding it right here.
Oh, I was like, just pick it up and just go for the
You
big
can
old
smell
sniff.
it from there.
Have you guys ever, were any of you in tennis? I was in tennis in high
I
school.
was not.
It's one of the best smells. Probably not good for you at all. Opening up a fresh can of tennis balls. Like the pressurized gas.
I have smelled that before. That's
It causes
pretty good.
cancer.
Yeah, probably.
I thought you were gonna say like gasoline because that smells really good.
Well,
but,
yeah, that does too.
But I was like, that doesn't play into tennis, so I wasn't really sure
No.
how
I
that was
love
gonna work. And
spray paint. I love spraying it into a bag and just.
Puffing.
You guys ever done whippets? Like, the Cool Whip containers?
I prefer, crystal meth. Sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like at
Go
this
big or
point the
go home.
episode's just over, right?
Go
So-
bigger.
I was going to suggest we do a
totally
talking ball so
done,
one
yeah.
person talks at one time, but I don't think it's going to work.
No,
Oh
probably
no,
not.
that's not gonna work.
I don't want to touch. I don't want to touch that.
I
Anymore.
was gonna say I don't want.
I don't
to touch
want
that.
Dan throwing
Here
a
you go.
tennis ball around. I'm sure that sounded great.
Yeah, it
on
did
the
actually, some
microphone. There's a
Also, Jordan, you need to play fetch with Ranger more because I walked right in the door and he dropped one at my foot.
Mm-hmm.
I
Ball.
played with him for like 30 minutes today.
Apparently, he thought that wasn't enough.
I'm
You-
never enough.
Well, you do realize you have to take everything with the rule of the sevens. Remember? So really, for him, there was only a seventh of that time.
That was like not even 5 minutes.
Okay, I tried. I tried to be a good owner, but he got tired. Okay.
Actually, our math is backwards on that.
I
It was
know.
actually
Say-
I did that intentionally
Should be a lot
just to
more.
make him feel bad.
Wait, so I did a good job?
no.
No,
Not
you don't,
according
you
to
don't.
Ranger.
You're not a good
according to
boy.
him.
You wasted some
Oh.
of his life. That's what you did.
By playing with him?
Jeez.
Okay, well, anyways, I think we
Moving
just
on.
get into this thing because otherwise we are going to be. making
This
fun of
episode
me.
is sponsored by PETA.
Oh, screw PETA. But, I just got a text. Don't be sniffing gasoline, weirdo.
Who sent that?
Obviously, someone watching.
Oh.
But Dan, would you like to go first?
Well, sure.
I don't think we never really set an order. I
No,
guess,
it's
so
fine.
it
No.
doesn't really matter.
I mean, we could also take if Dan's starting, chat could vote on who goes next.
There you go.
We can do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Go for it. Alrighty. Mine is video game related, which I think a few of ours are. I just want to know your guys' favorite game mechanics in video games, like something that was very innovative or creative or artistic, or something that really caught your eye. You just really liked a lot. Your favorites. So
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
take a bit to think about it. It's a pretty broad topic, I guess, but I can start since you guys haven't heard that topic yet. But
Yeah, you go ahead because I need to think of one.
the one that really brought this topic up to me, this game, I don't know if you played any of the Nier games. Nier Automata came out.
I actually think I
little
have
bit
it on
back.
Steam, but I've never played it.
I recommend it totally. It's really, really good. But just the way they manipulate level design in that game, it's crazy. It's really, really cool. The perspectives that you see are just really unique. Like you'll be a normal like free or open world JRPG kind of like hack and slash. We'll move to a platformer. Like the camera perspective will just shift to like a platformer where you're moving up like this big tower or something, and it'll just go down from above, and it'll be like a bullet hell game, like old arcade like style. Like it's really, really cool. I was kind of blown away by what they did with perspectives and everything in that game. But
I thought of a great mechanic. It was flying through hoops in Superman 64.
so no,
So Logan, what were your thoughts?
So I got two. that
Sure.
come right off the bat to me. First being the junction system in Final Fantasy VIII.
Mm-hmm.
It is good.
It's very cool. Obviously, I've not beaten the game yet, so I don't understand the mechanics fully. And I will eventually once we get this
mm-hmm.
day where we play it.
Weekend.
But
We're going to do a weekend.
This weekend.
Oh, is it this weekend?
Not
No,
this
like,
weekend.
it's in
gonna be
October.
a
Weekend.
weekend.
Oh,
Day
okay.
weekend.
You guys should do it while I'm in Ohio, so that way.
You don't have to hear about it, or what?
Well, no.
Do it while I'm not here, so I don't have to do it.
Well, I was saying that way Logan can set the stream up and you guys can do it all while I'm not here.
I think it's the 17th that weekend.
Friday,
Something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far the junction system, I really like it.
You can't
It's
do it
really
the
cool.
16th.
But then
Plans.
the other one is Earthbound / Dragon Quest. Earthbound's the one I know it from. So it's an RPG, turn-based RPG, but what's different about it is it's got like a scrolling health bar. So instead of like a traditional RPG where, say, you have 100 healths and you take 40 damage, you take that 40 damage immediately.
Mm-hmm.
With like Dragon Quest and Earthbound, it scrolls over a period of time, so you can actually prevent yourself from losing that full amount of health. So say something does 100 damage and you have 100 health and it's not going to knock you out. If you act fast enough and get through the menus, you can actually heal yourself before you faint, which is really cool. So I really like that mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
It adds a bit more strategy to the RPG format. So
I really hate that I'm on camera and I'm just trying not to laugh. Not at anything you're saying, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
those are two that come to my mind.
Sure.
Okay. Probably the one that pushes foremost in my mind, Legend of Dragoon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm a big fan of the old RPG styles. This one actually took that and added a nice little twist. So not only do you have to select what actions you're going to take, but if you take the attack action, you have to actually time your button presses as they're attacking to chain together combos to deal extra damage. So it's kind of combining combos with RPGs. And you also have to worry about like counterattacks and stuff like that as you're going. So changing which buttons you press. So mostly it's just hitting the X button because it was a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
And then counters were the circles. But I thought it was an interesting system that kept you engaged even during those just pick your actions and then go. You still had to think through it. And then also they kept the defense mechanism very interesting that as well. In a lot of games, if you defend, that's pretty much all there is to it, and you just take reduced damage. That one, it heals you 10% of your HP if you defend. So not only do you take reduced damage, but it also heals you up a bit, which adds some actual value to that defense mechanism.
Yeah.
So you're running low on the, I don't even remember what it's called anymore, the healing item in there. It had a special name for it, but if you run out of them, you can still survive. Like, there are a couple of hard battles that the only way I survived was limping along using that defense system. So it was also a very interesting aspect to it. If only the graphics matched the creativity of the mechanics.
Yeah.
I just had a thought pop in my head. Is this a certain type of game or do the
Anything.
mechanics?
Anything.
Because it was when it came out, and even now, like one of my favorite games to play is Rock Band. Like just having the instruments and stuff like
sure.
that could be a game mechanic, I guess, even though it's the genre of the game.
Rhythm game, yeah.
I thought that was so cool, being able to not obviously play an instrument, but in a way do something like that.
Sure.
I like that game mechanic a lot. I mean, it's obviously the entire genre of that game, but it's just kind of what popped in my head when he said combos. I was like, oh, full combo Rock Band,
Yeah.
So I was like, there you go. But no, that's always kind of fun, though. I like playing those even to this day. It's one of my favorite things to play. I kind of wish I could stream that, but DMCA, you can't have fun anymore.
It's pretty dumb.
You can't play music on stream. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, there are reasons for
It's
it.
copyrighted music.
I know. This sucks.
But yeah, like I was saying, it could be anything. If it's just like a cool art style of a game that it's really something you don't see that's really creative or unique.
Borderlands.
The
Cell shading. I love that.
That was the first one back
Yeah,
in the day
it-
that it kind of you started using that, but
Yeah,
Does a
it's
awesome
become
job.
more normal place, I guess now. But yeah,
Yeah,
cell shading is really good.
Cell shading is freaking awesome, dude. I think that's a really cool art style. So if we're gonna go with just anything like that,
Yeah.
I guess that
any
Yeah, I
sort
agree
of
with that.
That
mechanic.
would definitely be one.
Me and Dan know a little
Borderlands-
bit more about Borderlands now
Yeah.
since we've been playing it.
We started
what
playing
do you think?
Borderlands 2.
Well, I've played a little bit of it. But me and Dan have been playing through 2 the past couple nights.
Dude, Borderlands 2 is so incredibly
you can
good.
hop
Have
on
you?
and join if you want.
I really should at some point. What's the level you guys are at right about now?
I'm like 12 or something.
Oh, so you're still
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
early.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, on PS4?
Mhm.
PS4.
Okay.
You too,
perfect.
sir.
I don't have a PS4. Is
Well,
it cross-platform?
I don't know.
Borderlands 2 is not.
I don't
Borderlands
think
3
so,
is. I do have
yeah.
an extra PS4 if you need to borrow one.
It's a Handsome Jack collection. Does that matter?
Well, I have all
I don't
mine
know.
on the
I know they have
Steam,
cross
so-
saves, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if it's cross play or not. Somebody in chat here on Twitch can
I
look it up.
don't
if they
think
know.
it's cross play.
We'll let Terraria look into
Yeah.
it though. He has a job now.
Sure.
Uh,
Another, I guess, back to the mechanic kind of thing. This wasn't really like revolutionary or like super innovative, but it made you think just a little bit, and it like was super smooth and just really worked. And I'm talking about The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Just the kind of the combat system where you have 2 swords. One is silver, and that's for monsters. One is steel, that is for humans. So like if you use a steel sword on a monster, it doesn't do that much damage.
yeah.
Because steel is deadly to them.
Yep.
And you have to like.
But what if you use a silver sword on humans?
You can, but
It's like actually the iron sword does, or a steel sword
Yeah.
does more damage than the
Yeah.
silver sword.
Okay, got
Yep.
you.
and that's not something you can like manually switch, but it automatically does that a lot of the time. Like
Got you.
In the first 2, it did not automatically
Yeah.
switch.
I'm-
You actually had to select like
sure.
left bumper was one, and then the right bumper was the other,
Mhm.
and you had to switch between them.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just gonna butt in here, and
Go ahead.
Terraria says quick Google search says no, it is not crossplay.
All right, thank you, Troy. Yeah, I was specifically just speaking of 3, but also it like really takes in your knowledge of the lore of the monsters of the universe, the bestiary and stuff. So you have your like art and all that stuff. Your
Your signs.
which are like kind of little magic things that you have like 5 that the Witcher can use that work on certain monsters, and certain monsters they don't, obviously. And you have like a whole series of different like potions
And oils.
and poisons and that kind of stuff that work on certain monsters. So you have to really like prepare and understand what you're fighting,
Yeah.
and then like you'll take a potion that makes your blood like poison, literally. So like when you're fighting a vampire and they bite you, it hurts them. Like more like it's really
It's
it's really
thought out.
cool. It's a really well thought out thing. And you just put all that together, and it just kind of makes your combat really cool.
Yeah. I just thought of another. This is nothing to do with The Witcher, but another
fine.
mechanic. And I'm surprised Logan didn't think of this, honestly. The Masuda method in shiny hunting and Pokemon. Just how they thought of that. Like, hey, if you get a Pokemon, like let's say from Japan, and you get one from America, they breed in the game, it's a higher percentage chance it'll be a shiny. And just just kind of encouraging, getting, like, interacting with people from around the world, and kind of, if you want to go for shinies, being able to say, hey, if you connect with someone in Japan, then, you're gonna have a higher percent chance of.
Was
getting
that a
shiny or something.
purposeful mechanic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
there's
guy.
Nishi Masuda programmed into the game.
Okay.
Yeah, he programmed it in purposely to get people to try to interact with each other from around the world
Sure.
and stuff like that. And I just think that's kind of cool, because not many games encourage, trading with people in Japan, or like, connecting with people in China or something along those lines. It's not really a thing that's done very often.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool they thought of that, or this one guy thought of it and was like, hey, you know what? If 2 Pokemon from different regions get together, there's a better chance they'll be shiny. And I forget, you'll probably know, like, what it actually takes the odds to.
It depends on the game, but
It's like in Sword and Shield, for instance.
it does a good bit. Like, I think it takes it down to, like, I think it's 1 in 4,000 something to, like, the base odds. And then it takes it down to, like, 1 in 1,000 something, I think.
Which is still
good.
incredibly
That's good.
And that's
hard to
not with
get.
a shiny charm, so it drastically
I think
reduces
shiny
the odds.
charm's like 1 in 600 or something like that, if you have it.
Yeah, I think so. It's like super, like, it's
like-
in the hundreds, I know that.
Yeah, it's like a 1 in 600 chance. But I think that's kind of a cool mechanic,
Yeah.
to try to get people to interact with other people
Sure.
from around the globe. Because it doesn't happen very often in games, I guess, where,
Yeah.
like, Call of Duty lobbies, they go,
Well, servers stops that.
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, it's kind of like a region-based thing, where, like, you're going to get put with people that are closer to you. So it doesn't really encourage you to get with people from around the world, you know? Like, you're not going to be playing with many people from, like, I don't know, let's say India, for example, right?
Like, you'll get thrown in lobbies, right? I mean, I've played with French people and Spanish people and German.
Oh, yeah.
And all that stuff. Like, you get that
That's
randomly
usually late
stuff.
at night, though,
Usually.
when there's not as
it's
many
just
people
when
from
servers
America.
are, like, you know, are a little different and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really to cut down on ping, though.
No,
like,
it,
you're not
it
gonna
is.
have a good connection.
No, it is. But that's what I'm saying. Like, not many games will connect
Sure.
with people like that. And just
It was
the fact that
purposeful.
the fact that the mechanics are there to encourage that, I think, is kind of neat.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Is there any other ones that you guys want to bring
I
up?
can't really think of any more. I know there's probably a ton.
Yeah, there's-
Oh, there are a ton. Just like bringing them to the forefront of the mind is what's
Yeah, that's
rough.
why, like, whenever this pop in my head, I'm like, hey, sorry, I got to say this before I forget. You know? But that's been a couple of those. But if you guys don't have anything else, I guess we
Go
can
for
move
it.
on to the next one.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Sure.
So should we break up, since the rest of them's going to be video game? We can go with mine just because it's not video game related at all.
You just want to go next, and that's fine.
Well,
If you wanna go
I'm
next,
thinking we
just
can
take
break
it.
up
Actually,
some video game stuff.
I'm
for it.
changing mine last minute, so it's not video games. So
Oh, okay.
if you want,
Perfect.
Go for
I
it.
say put him on spot. Do it.
Do you want me to do mine?
Yeah, go for
My
it.
mic wasn't even on.
Yeah.
You're,
so
you're changing it up last second. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, I had one, but then after work, I went to Walmart. You guys probably see these. It kind of gave me another topic. So, what is something like as a child that you kind of are into, like toys or whatever, that you still are collecting today that you really still enjoy?
Oh.
So I know a big one for probably most of us is Pokemon cards.
I'm just looking at the shelf
Yeah.
behind you, like,
Yeah.
So like anything else that you guys are really into?
I mean, honestly, Pokemon cards is probably it. That's the only thing I can think of. I collected them growing up, loved them as a kid, really fell out of it until a couple years ago, or until actually just a little bit over a year ago now, is when I started picking it back up. And I don't know, ever since then, it's just been super, super fun. It's been something I like to collect.
Yeah.
It depends on if I have money or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
That's a big thing right there.
for sure.
But Pokemon cards for sure.
I know one thing I've collected is I always collect a first edition of every Zelda game as it's released. I've done so ever since Link to the Past.
That's kind of awesome.
So
That is actually
my
really cool.
Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past first edition. My brother got me the.
Now, is it opened?
Yes, but that's because I played all of them.
Okay.
But I always get the first editions and I collect them.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So
I'd say they're kind of cool if they were all sealed still.
no,
You
they're
could
not
get them
sealed.
graded.
Yes, I know.
That'd be really cool, actually.
That would be cool, but I was a child and I just wanted to
Sure,
play
yeah, I
'em.
get
No,
it.
no,
So-
that makes sense.
If you could
that.
get the gold cartridge, Link to the Past.
My brother has the original gold cartridge Legend of Zelda and Adventure of Link.
Oh, nice.
What's
So-
the gold one I have in the closet back
That's
here,
I
Logan?
think Zelda 1. I think. I'm pretty sure it is.
I found it at XL Gaming down in
Yeah.
Milford.
Yeah.
They had it. I was like $10. I'm like, okay, I want it. It looks cool.
A pristine unopened gold cartridge will go for some good cash, though.
Oh
so
yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely not that.
I figured it.
This is like it's used. It's been obviously opened if it's used, but and it's not even really great shape. I thought it looked cool. I'm like, hey, I've never played these, and it'd be kind of fun to instead of emulating, just play on the original because I got the NES sitting up there. Be kind of fun just to pop it in someday and play it.
Something else I've always collected. Oh my gosh, I just had it in my head. What was it? Something else I've collected.
From childhood?
Board games.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I've
Oh,
got
yeah.
tons of those, man.
Yes, I do, because I keep collecting them.
How many, if you could give a rough estimate, because I bet you don't have the exact number in your head. If you were to count every game you have, what would it be?
Not counting expansions, at least 150.
Count expansions.
Probably over 300.
Didn't you at one point you could fill your minivan?
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Oh,
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Where do you store them? Because they take up a pretty significant amount of space.
Oh, I know. I
Like,
know.
How do you store that many board games?
Shelves. Lots of shelves.
Fair. Okay. Because like I'm just thinking
I've reached
here,
the point where I'm out of shelf space, so that's the sad part.
you could probably fill up the entirety of this back room here, the back storage. I don't know if you've like seen how
Yeah.
deep that
Probably.
goes. But you
Yeah, he
could
get
probably-
close.
I
I
bet
don't-
he could
they're-
fill it up. If there's that
They're
many,
not that big, though. A lot of them are also smaller games.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, this also isn't that big of a room.
Jordan goes from saying it's big to it's not that big.
Well, okay, for a closet, it's
Relatively.
relatively big. The door's stuck. Whatever.
Well, I know I have a room that's a little longer than this, lined with games. So
Wow. That's actually kind of impressive, yeah, because other than Pokemon cards, there's really nothing that I collected as a kid that I still am into.
Ooh, we should
Um,
totally do board game playthroughs. It'd be fun.
I have enough to keep us going for a couple years.
I lose my patience at board games way too quick.
Hey, I have Pokemon Master Trainer.
It's weird. I can sit down and I can play Monopoly for like 5 hours.
That's not
that's
Pokemon Monopoly.
I could
That was
bring
fun when
my wife.
Yeah.
My wife has Dogopoly and Farmopoly. Speaking of dogs,
Ranger.
He's still mad about not playing fetch.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's true.
he's like, "What? You're up there with your friends, not with me?"
Ranger,
Loser.
we got a ball.
I know I left a ball up there.
Through the window, all of a sudden,
I mean, we're on the second floor. That'd be kind of impressive.
Ranger just yeets.
I mean, it's not really a collection, I guess, but something else that, and Dan's going to be like, of course you bring this up. Something that I've been buying a lot more of recently.
Guns?
Yes. I loved them as a kid, you know, and I would always go out shooting with my dad and my uncle. And my uncle has more than I could count. But I've just now been recently starting to get into a lot more of my own.
I thought you were gonna say G Fuel.
I mean, that is a pretty fair collection up there as well.
Yeah.
That's not like something I did as a kid, you know?
Yeah.
I wasn't chugging G Fuel and energy drinks as a child. But like I've been shooting since I was 5 or 6. We go out with a little 22 rifle, you know, and just plink at some targets out at the range or whatever. And now being able to get some stuff like this, I don't know, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then another thing that it's not really a collection, it's more of just a hobby that I have kind of progressed through the years would be photography. Like I love getting camera gear, and I've always enjoyed taking pictures, like even on like, you know, little digital cameras growing up on vacation, and just like going out and seeing if I could get a cool picture of something. But now actually being able to get some decent, you know, lenses and cameras and stuff like that, and being able to go out and get some cool night shots. Like I tried getting night shots on my phone a few years ago, like, you know, stars and stuff, and you can barely make them out. But then the pictures I've been getting recently are, I think, unbelievable with how cool and like how much it picks up in terms of like, you know, stars. Like you can see more stars in the photos than you can with your eye, which is, I just think, so cool.
Can you even get disposable cameras anymore?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually just talking to a guy last night while I was at work. He is really into photography as well, and that's kind of what brought this up. He still shoots with film
Okay.
every once in a while.
Most
He has a few
professional
film.
photographers will use film.
Yeah, he said he has an entire deep freeze full of film just in case they stop making it. But he's like 80 years old or 70. He's in his late 70s. He was a cop and retired in 2007. You know, so however old he'd be now, I guess. I don't know if you, let's just say you retired at 65, you know, or whatever age it would be. But he says he has an entire deep freeze full of film. And that kind of got me thinking about photography stuff last night too. And it's kind of funny now we can bring it up here. But yeah, being able to just, you know, even though it's super expensive, just get some cool gear and stuff and be able to go out and just kind of have some fun with it, make some cool videos or, you know, get some cool pictures and stuff like that. It's always kind of fun.
Yeah.
Not really a collection I had as a kid, but it was a hobby I had growing up that now, you know, I can actually get into a little bit more.
Sure. The only thing that I suppose from childhood still, aside from like Pokemon and stuff, is I have a decent sized collection of video games. I mean,
I got quite a few of those as well.
like, I'd play them all, obviously, but I still have them from way back when, from SNES to PS4, that kind of stuff. But something I didn't collect these in childhood, but early college, late high school kind of stuff. I have a pretty decent collection of comic books.
Oh yeah, you do have quite a few of those.
In full volumes and loose leaf comics. Spider-Man's my boy, as you know.
Yeah.
I have quite a bit of the Amazing Spider-Man series and a bunch of other stuff. But, yeah. Haven't collected them in a while since I don't have a comic book store readily available for me to go waste my money at. So,
That'd be nice, though.
There's not one down in Spencer, is there?
no. Not
I
that
don't think so. We should tell Kevin to get into comic books.
Bad.
He has all the games.
Yeah.
A lot of times they are in together.
I mean, he has enough space in that store. I mean, you've seen it. Holy crap, man! That store.
There's a lot of empty space.
Oh, it's a former Hallmark.
Yeah, it's just a ton of dead space in there because he has, if he took his video game section, not video games, his board game section, and like compressed them into reasonably spaced, he would have over half his store left.
More than.
Yeah.
You can
I-
put
didn't I say more than half is still
shelves in
left?
there too. if
I
you
was
want.
saying like way more.
Oh.
Way more than is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because he isn't even really utilizing the upper floor, is he?
No, there's really I don't think anything upstairs, and apparently there's a basement as well. Like this guy, this has more room than I think he even knows what to do with. It's ridiculous, and that's. I want him to get more cards, but he
He should go into comics.
should go into comics as well, just for Dan's wallet.
Actually, no, he shouldn't.
He shouldn't.
No.
Next time I go down there, I'm gonna tell him that I have a buddy that wants him to get into comics.
I would love for
Yeah, I was gonna
That'd be awesome.
say I can't think of
A lot
anything
of money.
I collect because money. I just don't really spend money on any collections necessarily.
I
now.
thought he was gonna say because I'm married and I'm not allowed.
Well,
to
that
spend
was
money.
also. I mean, partially that's it. Like I am married. I share funds with someone else, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's probably a good thing. I'm not saying you guys are wasting your money, but I don't think I'm missing out on any collections necessarily. It's just I couldn't think of anything.
I mean,
You
it's
collect
just
sporting
fun.
events
Yeah, I do. I go to a lot of those because of my job.
Well, he gets paid to go.
and
to
outside
those.
of that too.
Well, yeah, we go to Twins games and
Yeah.
Vikings games, and
Yeah.
I used to, if anything, I used to collect like hats. Like if I went to a Cardinals game once, and I wanted a Cardinals hat. Now I'll never go to a Cardinals game
I
again.
just
But
got this one the other day.
can I have it?
No.
Oh, okay.
So
Here's
what you collect are memories, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
There you go.
And I guess pounds because I spend a lot of money on food.
Ooh,
So
I feel that. I feel
Understand that.
Story of my life.
Ooh.
yeah.
Sentimental.
Yeah. So
Logan's like, we're done. We're done.
Logan's like, we're gonna move on now.
like like I said, the reason for me bringing this topic up is because mine are like Pokemon cards, video games, but another one is Legos. That was
I used to have Legos
one
a
of
long time ago.
one of the like first things I remember playing with as a kid. I remember my first Lego set actually was the original like old version. Like, it was when Lego Star Wars first was coming out, and it was the transformation station or whatever from Vader to Anakin. Or
Oh, that'd be
Anakin
kind of
Vader.
dope.
And it was like a thing you could like rotate, and it was really fun, and I remember loving it. And so then I got into Lego Star Wars from there, and from that point on, I just kind of stuck with it. And then Marvel started doing stuff around like when Avengers 1 came out.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, this is awesome. And so I started collecting all the Marvel ones, and I've probably spent hundreds of dollars on Legos. Like,
Oh, they're so expensive.
yeah, they're
They
really
are
expensive.
incredibly expensive.
They were
Actually,
expensive back then. They're even more so. now.
Yes.
a friend of mine lives out in California. She was streaming last night, and she got like the big R2D2 Lego set, and so
Yeah.
she's been streaming her putting that together. But I think she said that was like $500 or something insane like that.
Yeah. Is it Cloud City? I think is like $700. That
Yeah.
was awesome though.
Liz and
Oh,
I,
that
like
one.
when the Hogwarts set came out for Harry Potter, we were like, oh, that'd be fun. Like, why not splurge on one? Then we saw the price tag. We're like, that's why I not splurge on that.
Yeah, they're expensive.
One of my friends from way back when, he used to have all the Lego sets and everything. He had like the full Imperial Star Destroyer and the Death Star, like hanging in his room.
The Death
like,
Star is one that's always been on my bucket list to get.
And way back when, like those were hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I think the
Even
Death
more
Star
so now.
now they revised it, and it's like I think it's 600. It's 500 or 600, and that's always been like ever since this kid. I've always wanted that one. Just never been able to get it. But I've always been into like the bigger
that?
like yeah stuff like that. The more like
This is the big R2 that she posted a picture of on Twitter.
Mm.
She didn't say how much it costs though, but it's like
A lot.
the box
Yeah.
basically goes from her legs up to
yeah.
her eyes.
I
I was gonna say, how tall is this friend?
Never actually met her. I don't think very tall.
Oh.
But it's more the fact that on a human being it can go from here to
Yeah.
here, like just the
Yeah.
box. Like that's a decent sized box
Yeah.
for a Lego set.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, they're definitely they're very expensive, but I think most times they're worth it if you have the money and enjoy it like I do. I enjoy building them. I also don't get,
It's a squirrel outside.
I know the squirrels.
Yep.
He's taking part.
but I don't get a lot of like the more kid sets where it's just like little play sets. I like getting
Sure.
a lot of the like more like the Avengers towers and like the more like display pieces.
Yeah.
That's a lot of my collection. Like I have the Millennium Falcon, which is giant. It's like this big, sits on the table. I have that one. I have Slave One. I have.
I think Chucko actually from Twitch has the Millennium Falcon one as well.
Yeah, the Millennium Falcon.
He's really into Legos.
Yeah, there's
though.
a bunch of Millennium Falcons that have come out. But yeah, I really love just a lot of like the display stuff.
Sure.
Just sitting stuff on like my desk and be like, hey,
Have
I
you
built
checked
that.
out any of the Halo sets?
Well, that is Mega Bloks, and
I
I
thought there was actual Lego ones now though.
there might be, but I haven't seen them yet.
Hmm.
I know Mega
Could be.
Bloks has like the
Gotcha.
Halo stuff. I actually do have some of those from
Those are
back in
cool.
my childhood. I have like those like little Mega Bloks
Mhm.
figures. But yeah, I just love display, and I love the minifigures, which is the big reason I bought these because I like the fact that they did a CMF version, which CMF is collectible minifigure series.
Mhm.
They've done that for a while now, and they do sometimes where they do like waves of like other series, and they've just been able to start doing Marvel and Star Wars ones now, and so for Marvel they did ones based on the Disney Plus series, and so as you guys can see I got some of them here, but
Cool.
the thing about them is like they're way more detailed than regular minifigs.
Did you break it, Jordan?
Yeah.
No, it just really
No.
bugs me that she's not centered on this block.
Oh yeah, I just
That
put her.
really bugs me. And
Yeah.
I just looked like there's no way to center her.
No, you can. You just have to take that piece off.
Oh, okay. I say just taking her off and moving her to the other side, it does the same thing. Just
You
to-
see, that requires thinking processes above what you're doing right now.
Okay.
But yeah, like another aspect that I really love about
Well,
Legos
I think we all knew that.
is like the more like adult audience has like they do
love
call
you, Jordan.
they do things called mocks,
Mm-hmm.
which are like I want to do one eventually because they look insane, but they're like literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some of these
hundreds of thousands
Yes.
for Legos?
because well, it's what it is like people build like sets the size of this room.
Oh,
and, like,
so you're talking like
mocks.
multiple sets.
Well, it's like a personal mock, and so what it is like a battlefield. So
Yeah.
like one of the coolest ones I've seen is Kashyyyk, the Battle of Kashyyyk. It's literally like probably from here to like that wall, and then back, and then probably a little bit further out, and it's the entire. It looks like the entire like beach of Kashyyyk, and then you see all the trees.
like water and everything, huh?
Like water. It's like really detailed. I'll show you guys after.
It's kinda cool,
It's
actually.
really cool, but it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Legos, and it's
No, thank
really
you.
really cool. But I could never do that.
I mean, seeing Legoland at Mall of America, it's always
Yeah,
pretty
it's
fun.
really-
Oh yeah,
it's a lot like
that's
that, yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah, stuff
Like some of
that.
those built.
The
like
giant helicopter that they have hanging from the ceiling.
Optimus
Yeah.
Prime.
The
is,
Yeah.
giant Lego Hulk or
Yeah.
or the
That's
Hulkbuster
actually
armor
ridiculous.
Legos.
Yes.
And you
Yep.
expect more of it walking in the store. It's like, oh no, that's just where I buy bricks. Okay.
Yeah, like
I want-
there's nothing in the
you,
store.
You get
of-
greedy. You're like, I want more.
Yeah, yeah. You see it from the outside, and you're like, holy crap! Like this looks awesome. You know, with the big helicopter, everything above it. Then you walk in, you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, I
There's some
don't
sets
know.
on the walls and stuff, and they.
Oh
they
yeah,
have,
there's
like,
there's a
the-
couple. Yeah.
Like you look at the wall, and it's like it looks like those candy machine or candy like containers where you
Yep.
go in and get your extra candy with all these different colored Legos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the brick walls.
Yeah.
You can't do
jelly
those
bean
anymore.
dispensers. But
Really?
Yeah. So, my grandma had a Lego store by her. Like literally, it's at the mall, like 5 minutes from our house where I was living in Georgia, and so I would go there every now and then, and because of COVID, you can't use brick. Like they've locked it off, so you can't
That's
even
so
use it anymore.
stupid.
I'm like, I wanted to build some mocks while I was down there because I
Mm.
built like little ones. Like
Well,
I built.
I'm trying to think.
Uh,
I was in Minneapolis. I can't remember if they had theirs locked up or not.
They probably do.
I haven't been to the Mall of
But,
America since
yeah.
before all this stuff started.
Yeah, I really
Mhm.
because I like building like little mocks. Like I built the Battle of Wakanda one time, and that was sweet. I got like 4 or 5 like the drops shit, like
Mhm.
little drops pod things are from the Infinity War, and I put them out, and then I've got like a whole bunch of like of my Marvel figs, and like it was super sweet.
Maybe I have been. I don't remember.
Hmm.
But
Cool.
but yeah,
Cool.
So
Pretty neat.
yeah, anybody else got any? I know.
I covered basically all mine.
I was gonna say if we collect anything, my wife loves Legos, so that'd probably be what we did. But I said they're expensive.
Yeah,
Collections
they're
are
not cheap.
expensive.
Most things they collect that we've all talked about are very expensive. So.
Yes, extremely.
Why are fun things
The
expensive?
cheapest one I think is Pokemon cards, and that's even.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is like
I wouldn't call them cheap.
I would
Well,
not
no,
call
I
them
mean out of
cheap.
everything we've talked
Yeah.
about though, like that's the lowest price out of everything, and that's even expensive.
Actually, I don't know. My Zelda game's fresh out of the purchase. Not that
Honestly,
expensive individually.
comics are probably less
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, maybe comics.
because you don't buy as many. Like it depends on what you're buying, but
Okay.
Yeah.
you can get a couple volumes and it'll get you over $100 easy. But
All
yeah,
right.
I don't know.
Is
You
it-
don't buy as many as you would like booster packs either.
Now,
so.
is like
Yeah.
comic books. How does that vary from manga? Because I know manga. Can be very
highly.
expensive. Is
Well,
it like
manga doesn't
actually
come out that much.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
You get your little volume. It's just a little book,
Yeah.
and then if you're current on it, like you gotta wait until the next volume comes out. So,
Mhm.
and what those are maybe $15 maybe.
Yeah, I think it's.
It
I think, yeah,
varies depending on
10
how
to
popular
15,
and how big
yeah.
it is. Comics, if you have, say you're collecting, an Avengers comic, a Spider-Man comic, and an X-Men comic, right? That's 3 comics, right? Those come out weekly issues. So every Wednesday is when comic book day is. You go and get your 3 issues.
You know, I actually did not know that.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
guess I didn't know there were still ones that came out
Yeah.
weekly.
Yes,
Mhm.
many.
I didn't know they ever did. I figured it'd be like like bi-weekly or even monthly type deal.
It depends on the run.
It's like
Some of them
I
are.
don't think every run has like each run.
Some are
doesn't have, like,
monthly,
a-
some are bi-weekly, some are like every 6 months, like an annual or something.
Oh, cool. Okay, I
But
had
a
no
lot
idea.
of them come out weekly.
Nice.
Unless there's some issue with production.
We could every Wednesday come out with read along with Dan, read comics where he just reads it
I have quite a few.
as an audiobook.
That would actually be kind of epic.
So dumb.
I'm down. For that. We can get a like an overhead camera that shows the book that he's reading on the table.
No, he's got to hold it teacher style where like you flip it
Oh.
over and show the picture, then turn the page.
But
Yeah.
each loose leaf comic, just your single issue, average maybe $5.
Yeah.
I actually have a couple comics here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Average
They're
$5
the
maybe.
they're the
But,
skillet ones.
Oh yeah.
So every week,
I think
$15 throughout like a year. That's quite a bit of money just for
Yeah.
loose leaf comics. That's not talking about
Oh, yeah.
volumes or
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
or
for
alternate
sure.
covers or
Yeah.
whatever you want to get.
Yeah, I asked that just because I've started collecting manga and I just bought the box set for Tokyo Ghoul and it's like $130 for the
Yeah.
whole thing.
I can't
It's
even
just like
say
buying
anything.
a book.
So
I mean, just one of these boxes right here. These are for the Pokemon cards. These are like $150 a piece for 36 packs.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the acrylic case. That's another
$20,
$20.
$25.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, holy crap, that's a lot, and then I was looked over. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. There's
gonna say.
I can't say that's a lot because these things right here are that much, and it's
Wait, and then
Yeah,
how
so I
much
said
were
it's
each of
way less.
those G Fuel
They're
containers?
$40 a tub, but a lot of them
35 to 40. Yeah.
a lot of them are probably
How
buy
much
one,
is
get
each
one.
gun?
Depends on the gun.
From $400 to what, over $1,000?
I think the most expensive one that I have, it'd be the AR-10. And if it weren't for the fact that I got the barrel for free, that would be like a $1,200 gun, I think. With the scope on it being a $300 scope as well would make it like $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
But act now, you get the
I'm
barrel
too frugal
free.
for that. I would like to have some cool guns and stuff. I don't want that many. I don't want to collect guns. That's just needed.
I really
for
want
me. But I do want a Desert Eagle.
That'd be cool.
And
Now the
that's,
gold one, right?
No.
I
Just
want-
a normal one. But and that would be $1,600, I think,
For the 50.
the 50 cal.
Because they have it in 45 ACP
Well,
as
you're
well.
you're only gonna get a 50 cal.
Well, I mean, you can get one at 45. So
yes,
that's
but you're
You
gonna get
can,
a 50.
but you're going to
Yeah.
get the 50.
Yeah.
So that, and if my actual dream gun is a Scar,
Oh, those
and
are
those are
sweet, dude.
$3,600. So
Those are dope, yeah.
I want to my like I want to get to mainly my personal carry which
I have one already.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's just a normal handgun. It's gonna be a Steyr, and then I really want to make one like your new one.
That
That
little-
one is I love that, like it's smaller, compact. I like that feel.
That is a really.
So-
You gotta go on the 16th when they come up from Nebraska. You're gonna be able to shoot that for sure.
I want a Halo sword.
That too.
that'd
That
be
would be
cool.
sick.
I would like a
Yeah.
needler. Can I have one of those?
Needler.
Can I get a?
Isn't that just like the nickname for the homeless people in San Francisco?
No.
No,
Needler is a Halo weapon.
I want to get the laser. The like.
Oh, the
Oh.
Spartan laser.
Oh, that was funny, Weston.
Shut up, Jordan.
That was
was
so
funny.
satisfying when you got someone with that.
Yeah, because you like never be able to hit anybody because it's so impossible. It charges for so long.
Yeah,
I feel like favorite video game weapons could be a whole nother topic on its
Oh
own.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's something
Oh,
we
so-
can
100%.
totally talk about.
If you guys want, we can move on. We can
Yeah,
just
let's
keep
do
working
it.
our way around the table.
No, there was a vote because I asked chat who they want to talk next, and at one point Terraria said, "Just don't let Jordan go." So Weston, go ahead.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
Weston.
So,
Terraria
Jordan,
would
you
say
lose.
that.
All
I mean,
right.
it was the only vote I had, so
Terraria's a dick.
Well, I mean, are you really that much better?
Yes.
Woo.
All right.
I'd
So,
like to think so.
Wow.
Weston.
I love you, George.
Weston is nothing but savage.
Not pulling punches today, I see.
I feel
never
like
does,
at this
ever.
point, this show is just—it's an excuse for you guys to get together once a week and just roast me nonstop.
No, it's just me putting you in your place.
Ooh, so we're insulting
No,
Jordan.
that's just
Should
Weston.
I add an injury?
Weston
I could
just
eat his cookies.
roasts you
Please
constantly
don't
for
eat
no
my
reason.
cookies. Those are really good.
These look really
I
good.
feel like
You can
I'm
have
not that
one, I
bad.
guess. So they're lemon cookies from Quick Start. I wasn't expecting to like lemon cookies as much as I did, but that's actually
I
unbelievable.
actually really like lemon desserts.
Yeah, those cookies.
Do you want
are-
a
They
cookie,
work
Dan?
a lot. I do not. I don't like Quick Start cookies. I think they're very bad, actually.
Oh, I love these.
No
I'm not
good,
a
very
fan.
bad day.
Yeah, that one.
It's a great book.
Well, regardless of how it sounds, we're going to move
Shall we
on
move
a
on?
little bit, and we're going to discuss favorite video game soundtracks.
I got
Okay,
mine.
I'm looking for
Top
your
five.
top five-ish. Okay,
Top 5. Ooh, okay.
so I'm going to
I
start
was
with
gonna say, I
mine.
is
know where
tough,
I'm coming up
but-
with 5. So
Go ahead.
So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt.
That's a really good one.
Okay.
That's on my list.
The folk music in there, the battle hymns using just the sheer instrument choices,
Scandinavian, like, Gregorian chant almost.
right? It's phenomenal.
It is really good.
So well done.
You might like it if you've played it, Jordan.
Right.
I just got a text with another soundtrack of a game I've never played, and it's Detroit Become Human.
Okay.
I actually haven't played it yet.
I haven't
either.
played that, but
I actually
I
have not
have it
played that
on
one
my
yet
PlayStation
either,
4. I
the
just haven't played
soundtrack
it.
is really good.
Another one that's on my list here, Chrono Trigger. Any of you
Chrono
ever played
Trigger?
it?
Yeah, Chrono Trigger. Old
I actually
school. Pretty
really
good.
loved it, and I'm also somebody who's done some research behind
I-
some of these games.
I gave you permission to eat a cookie, Tim. You don't need to ask chat if you should. I told you could.
How many cookies can you eat? That's the real question.
Okay, just have one.
And
I
how many
kind of
can
want
you-
some for myself.
Chrono Trigger, you.
So,
Go ahead.
um,
That's the really cool 8-bit kind of stuff back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
so
cool.
it was for me as it was one of my original games. Like, it wasn't my first. Like you guys know, it was Link to the Past, but this was one of the earlier games for me.
Yeah.
And so it's one of the games soundtracks that just kind of defined my youth. You know.
Sure, yeah, it's really good.
So one of those. It has some nostalgic value, but also it's just really well done. Like the way it actually matches a lot of the scenes and everything. There's also a lot of music in that soundtrack. The lead artist, Mitsuda, actually gave himself stomach ulcers working so hard on it.
Oh, wow.
So-
Jeez.
And then he
Sounds
was
like a Japanese thing to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he was filled in by Nobuo.
Oh, Uematsu?
Yep.
He's my boy.
Right. He's up further on my list too.
Yeah.
So like I love him. He's one of my favorite composers.
He does all the
so-
Final Fantasy music,
Yep.
or he has done many of the Final Fantasy musics.
Yeah, and in my opinion, all the best Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
I agree.
music. So, Chrono Trigger, among the best in my opinion.
Okay.
Then, like the next one on my list, I don't think I could have a list here without mentioning the Halo series soundtrack,
It's on my list.
especially
Dang it.
Halo 2.
Halo 3 was on mine.
That's on mine too.
So, like
Oh,
I
we can
love
share.
Halo 2
we can.
and
can
Halo
share.
3. They just do so
Halo 2
well
and 3.
with
1, it started all, it was fantastic. 2 was awesome. Halo 3, I think, we even went above and beyond all the other 2s.
So, like my note for it is just
Yeah.
yes. For
Although,
Halo.
did you know Halo 2 had Breaking Benjamin songs on it? So
I did know. Yeah,
Yeah,
Breaking
it
had
Benjamin
two.
was like 10 out of 10.
Wasn't it?
they had Breathe and Blow Me Away, which are
Yep.
fantastic.
Dude, I love Breaking
During
Benjamin. They're
campaign.
So good.
Oh, so good.
Breaking
So-
Benjamin's so good. I love it.
I don't think I could have had this list without Halo being on here somewhere.
Oh, yeah, so good.
I don't know if it's possible to have a top list without them.
Yeah, definitely.
Another for mine, Legend of Zelda is a series.
Okay,
But
sure.
just narrow it down, the ones that I felt had the biggest impact included The Wind Waker and Breath of the Wild, just due to the sheer variance
Sure.
in the sounds.
They were, those are the more modern ones, so you get more from them too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do like A Link to the Past, though.
Skyward Sword had the orchestral sound, but I felt like it almost outdid itself, if
Sure.
you will. And it didn't match the gameplay as well as these others did.
You know what Zelda game I thought really has a good soundtrack is Link's Awakening.
it also had a
That's-
phenomenal
That's
one.
a great one.
But like I said, I'm kind of counting the entire Zelda series in there for
Sure.
that. But I'm also trying to narrow it down to just a couple because I don't want to just say an entire series because that's kind of
Yeah.
a cop-out answer.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, for that, my top ones would probably be Wind Waker followed by Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Breath of the Wild, just due to the sheer moments of silence and those pianos coming in, and the distinctions in there.
Sure.
It really kind of just
Yeah.
flares it. But Wind Waker takes it for me and just how it actually matches the mood with each of the temples and everything. So,
All right.
and then for my top would be the Final Fantasy series with a special emphasis on 6 and 8.
8's my favorite
That's-
music.
so-
Obviously, you know this, but
Yeah.
so good. I have that full soundtrack on CDs and in my
Oh,
iTunes,
do you really?
and I listen. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So,
Like, 6, I mean, anybody who's played 6 knows the soundtrack is just absolutely mind-blowing and phenomenal. Okay? Like,
they're all really good.
they really are. And then 8, like, I sat down and started playing 8 again the other day. Like, you know this. The soundtrack
blows you
still
away,
blows
man.
me away every time.
Blow me away.
Right.
Like, Liberi Fatale,
Yeah. Oh, so
Oh,
good. The best
incredible.
opening song in a video game ever.
right?
Don't Be Afraid, Man with a Machine Gun. Like, so many good songs from that. Just,
Right?
Just like the music walking around Balam Garden.
It's
You
phenomenal.
could just go. You can fall asleep to that. It's great.
Yeah.
I have fallen
Like,
asleep to that
I know.
before.
But,
I mean, seriously, like, for those of you out there, if you haven't played Final Fantasy VIII, play for the soundtrack, if nothing else.
You can
It
just
is
go on and listen
phenomenal.
to the music if you want. To be honest,
No,
You don't have
play
to
the game 'cause
I
you
say
want all
you
of
can
it.
just type
You
in
want
Final
all of
Fantasy
it.
8 OST.
I would
on
rather you play the
YouTube.
music because or play the game because it's fantastic. But you
No,
just want to
that's-
listen to if you like that style, kind of an older retro, but not quite arcade style. It's still,
Okay.
it's got a little bit too. It's really really good. Just check it out if you're interested in kind of that stuff. But
Okay.
anything else you got there?
I have a couple honorable mentions. One of which is the Mass Effect with Mass Effects 2 and 3.
That's on
So-
my list too.
I mean, just phenomenal the way they actually set the scene and
Oh,
set the
yes.
mood there.
The Suicide Mission song
Oh.
and the end run, like
Oh,
so
yes.
good with the violins when they just hit you.
uh-huh. It hits you right in the feels,
I love video game
I don't
music.
know the. I don't
Get
know
you
the song.
going,
Jordan, you're
And
missing
then-
out, man.
The other honorable mention I put in was the Elder Scrolls with an emphasis on Morrowind and Skyrim.
Dang it! Why'd you put
That's
those
my.
in there?
All right.
You would have took my
Well,
list.
okay, before you take any more of mine,
So those are my top ones with my 2 honorable mentions.
Skyrim
so.
and Oblivion had really good soundtracks. Don't get me wrong, but
Yes.
man,
Morrowind.
Morrowind. Ooh.
see, I was gonna say Skyrim is number 1, Oblivion's number 2, Pokemon Emerald's number 3.
Okay.
I love the soundtrack from Emerald.
Yeah.
I don't really know if it's like the best music wise, but it's one of my favorites because of how
Sure.
much fun I've had
This
with
is
it.
favorite soundtracks, right?
Would be Sea of Thieves. Like just
Okay.
being able to like get together
Just
with
the
the crew.
shanties and
Yeah, like
stuff?
the shanties and be able to get together with the crew and like
Yeah.
I'm actually playing that tonight when we're done here. But being able just to hop on and like I can get out the banjo, my friends can get like the hurdy-gurdy, and we can just like play music together. Like that's always fun, and just being able to switch up songs and stuff.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of songs in it, but it's fun, and it's just it's fun music that I like.
Yeah.
And then Halo 3, like I said, that's gonna be another one. So I mean, there's my 5, and if we're
Marty
going on-
O'Donnell outdid himself on that one.
yeah, and if we're going with like honorable mentions and stuff, then I mean, like I said, Link's Awakening is fantastic, Breath of the Wild's fantastic. Honestly, any Pokemon game, but specifically Soul Silver, is gonna be up there as well. I love the music from that. There's a few Mario games. Like I mean, I think anyone has to say the original Super Mario Bros. Just because of how everyone
It's super
knows.
recognizable.
It's
It
super
is. It's extremely
recognizable.
recognizable and it's so iconic that I think
Yeah.
almost anyone would have to add that to their list. I don't know. Yeah, and then someone in chat says The Last of Us, and I honestly I agree. That is a fantastic soundtrack as well. Honestly, any game by Sony, like any
A
game
lot
that
of them,
Sony
yeah.
puts
A
out,
lot.
the single player games always have great soundtracks, and there's so many of them at this point that it's hard to remember. But no, I think that would be my quick list. I guess
Sure.
I
Yeah.
didn't go into too much detail, but those would be my favorites.
You want to go? You want me to go?
I
Still
guess I
thinking?
can go.
Go for it.
So, just something that come off the top of my head. I don't know if they're definitively my top 5. I think I'd have to think a bit more
Yeah.
about this.
See, it got thrown
Um,
on us last minute, so like
but,
we didn't have too much
I
time
think-
to think.
Well, a lot of mine are taken anyway, so I'm just gonna mix it up. So
So, for me, I think of ones like the Pokemon franchise. You said Emerald. Yeah, that's definitely one of mine.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
love the trumpets. And
The
like,
horns in that are just
yeah.
so good, dude.
oh, and I love that that mashup or whatever that. I you sent it to me or somebody did, where it's like that trumpet player and a few other musicians from YouTube got together and did like a mashup of all the songs. Oh,
yeah, it's
I
fantastic.
love listening to that. It's so good.
It's fantastic. I love that.
So yeah, I'd say that one, but then Pokemon franchise as a whole, it's still iconic.
Okay.
I'd say Zelda series too. Specifically, I think of like Link's Awakening, Wind Waker. I love Wind Waker soundtrack. It's awesome. Then I go to like Earthbound, just because love that game. It's got really cool, like a really cool music style to it. It's very like you can definitely tell when you transition between towns and different areas. It's very like unique in a lot of the ways they do some of the music in that game. So I really like that one. And then I'm gonna say you kind of put one in my head when you talk about Sony. Spider-Man PS4.
That's a good one.
Oh, I love swinging
really
around
good.
and
It is
hearing
well
that main
done.
theme when you're swinging around. So good.
Miles Morales is actually really good too. If you play that
I've heard some of it and it's really good.
I haven't played that one yet.
Like
I wanna
I
play
don't know
that
if you've seen like when they first gave the trailer or whatever that song that they play in the trailer. It's really sick. The hip hop song.
Yeah,
That's how it opens. Of you swinging the city to that song. It's like it's
Oh,
really
nice.
cool. Yeah.
that's awesome.
But yeah, that one's a good soundtrack too.
Now,
I was
before we
thinking about
like
that.
move on too much, I just want to see if you guys are noticing the same pattern I am, where everyone has more Nintendo games than anything else.
Well, that's mainly what I
don't.
play. So
I know.
I feel
but
like most of them have been Nintendo. You know.
Oh, actually,
his wasn't.
yeah,
Well, I
His
mean-
wasn't. But
Okay, like a lot of
Yours
them
wa-
even brought up.
Pokemon and Zelda and that stuff, yeah. Nintendo,
Yeah,
but
like there's been a lot of Nintendo
Sure.
games.
there's quite a bit of every kind of console.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
they all have good music.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like that seems
Sure.
to be the heavy hitter, I guess, of the night. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You got more?
That's all I can think of right now.
Honestly, Borderlands 2 has a really good soundtrack.
It
yeah,
does,
it's really good. It's really good.
It's pretty good music, but
I'll tilt your mic up.
Oh, sure.
Jordan.
Oh, Jordan.
Tilt it up.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Oh, I guess Final Fantasy. I love that soundtrack too.
Oh,
Final
yeah.
Fantasy 7 is really great.
oh yeah, that's a good
I
one.
love the classic battle theme.
Oh, you haven't heard the best of 8 yet, have you?
No, not really. But another one that I haven't played this game yet, but I've watched the kind of like the beginning hour of the playthrough of it is 15 with the is it what song is it they do a rendition of?
A lot of them. You can
The-
literally get every Final Fantasy soundtrack in your
No,
car.
it's like the cover of the actual song. It's
by gosh, what's the
I can't think of the song's name anymore. That
Stand
one's
By Me.
Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Yes.
By
That one's
what's
oh,
her face?
I love that
Gosh.
version.
Can't remember the band.
I love that version of that song.
That
so,
one chick. You know what I'm talking about. But
yeah.
yeah, no, it's really good actually.
And then Terrarius' Megalovania. Undertale actually really does have a pretty good
Yeah.
soundtrack. So
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about Undertale.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yep.
it's
Mhm.
definitely got a lot of the same tone of Earthbound.
Well, it's made by the same guy, right?
No, so it's made up by a fan.
Oh, a fan.
Toby
okay.
Fox is a huge
Gotcha.
fan of the Earthbound series. He's one of the people who actually founded Starman.net, which is Earthbound's like fan site.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he made like a fan like ROM hack of Earthbound, and then he kind of got into developing games, and he made Undertale. And
cool.
so a lot of the
Interesting.
themes are still there, like the comedy of the games there.
Yeah.
I always like hearing stories about that. You know, where like a fan project turns into a big thing that's almost more popular.
And it's
than,
really cool
you
too
know,
to see that
what
like how
inspired
big
it.
Undertale got, and like
Oh yeah, it's
now-
huge cult classic.
now Sans is fighting alongside Ness and Lucas in Smash Brothers. Like if I was Toby Fox, that'd be awesome. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
my character is able to play against these other top Nintendo characters that I grew
Mhm.
up loving.
Yeah. I love stories like that. You know, it's just like it's such a win for
It's
that
cool,
guy,
yeah.
and it's just so cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. That everything you want.
Yeah, that's
Well, throwing out Halo and Mass Effect and The Witcher, and most of Final Fantasy.
And Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, and that.
Dovahkiin.
Well, some Final Fantasies that we haven't mentioned. You know what's really, really freaking good? It's not Umetsu either. 13's soundtrack is fantastic. fantastic.
Does it
So
make up
good.
for the game?
It got a lot of crap. The game wasn't that bad.
I haven't played it, but
The
I've heard it's
story
really
isn't that bad. I just feel like it was too railroad, but that's a different discussion.
Like
but at the
it was a
same
bit
time,
linear, but
Yeah.
Then what's the online Final
this-
Fantasy?
That's
Realm
11 and 14.
11
Yeah.
and 14. Okay, I thought it was 13.
Realm
for some
Reborn.
reason, but okay.
It's 14, yeah.
Okay.
But 13's soundtrack is really, really good. 10's is really good.
Mhm.
9's is really good. But Final Fantasy music in general is just good. But we'll throw those out too, I guess. Shadow of the Colossus.
Mhm.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Super, just like epic, like monumental kind of score, and it really plays with the game. It works a lot. It's really fun. Doom has a fantastic soundtrack.
I love that.
Yes,
And
it
I'm
does.
talking like the remake of Doom and Eternal, but I'm talking about the old original Doom
Yeah.
2.
Like the
was
Nintendo
awesome.
64?
No, like SNES.
Oh,
or
SNES.
arcade, yeah.
Okay, got you.
That's actually
So
I would
good.
actually change my mind for that one. I love
Like-
the
Like all the memes, like when the Doom music kicks in, you know, like good stuff. That metal is awesome.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's really, really good.
That's like one of my favorite genres of music is metal, but I can't stand the screaming vocals, like this instrumental.
It's all instrumental. So.
Yeah, and that's what I like. That's why I'm saying like that's a good one as well.
Personally, a connoisseur of the pig squealing rock.
Oh, shut up! No, I have an example. I have an example of one of those. I think it's on either my laptop or I transferred it to this computer. But there is a really, really terrible recording from like a demo CD of a band that was trying to do the pig squeals. And I remember the first time I heard it, I was actually in tears. I was laughing. I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It's awful.
No, it's really bad. It's actually funny. I didn't know about it until like a few months ago when I was hanging out with my buddy from high school who's like a music major and he's really into music. He makes music all the time. And he's like, so what do you like this like pig squeal rock? Because we're talking about rock music.
God,
And I was
pig
like,
squeal's horrible.
you made this up. You 100% made this up as a joke.
Nope.
And he's like, no, it's serious. I'm like, show me. And he played a couple songs. I was like, this is music?
It's so
This
bad.
is so
It
terrible.
is so bad. And I
haven't
know
listened to it.
people
It's
that
literally hard, like heavy metal, but it's like guys doing like pig squeals instead of like vocals or anything, like,
Yeah,
like normal
it's-
song.
Okay.
It's
Interesting.
so weird.
we actually have had this conversation on stream before about pig squeal, and he used to be a friend of mine, haven't talked to him in a long time. He actually got really mad when I said it was some of the worst music I've ever heard.
Oh,
that
it's
was
terrible.
that was like 2 years ago. He
It's
actually got
terrible.
pissed at me
It's terrible.
and was legitimately mad when I said it's terrible music. I go, there's nothing good about it, and I mentioned a band that was on that demo.
Okay.
He's like, that's actually one of my favorite bands. Like he was actually like legitimately offended that I said they were terrible.
Okay.
No, it's just bad
Interesting.
music.
Yeah, it's bad.
Interesting. But back to
Yeah,
good music.
Yeah,
A new one that I don't know if you guys have played or heard or anything, but you guys know the game Hades that came out like last year.
I've heard of it. I haven't.
I haven't
Has
played
one of
it
the
yet.
best soundtracks I've ever heard. It's so good. It's so good. It has like kind of really ethereal, angelic like vocals of like Greek songs and stuff, and then it goes into like super metal too. Like when you fight boss battles, that's really really good. So check that out if you ever.
That actually
an
reminds
idea.
me of one that I kind of forgot about. Kid Icarus Uprising
I don't know.
is amazing. So the Kid Icarus franchise.
Oh, Kid Icarus. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the 3DS one, the newest one, which I really hope they port to the Switch. I'm not gonna lie, I love that game. That soundtrack is awesome. Like the whole intro theme, it's very like similar to Hades. Makes sense because they're both based on mythology, but it's
Sure.
very like angelic and like the whole intro is like really cool and it's I love that game and that soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. But check out Hades for sure. It's really good. The Nier series, like I said, Automata and Replicant are really good. The Silent Hill series has really eerie, like mysterious horror-esque music soundtrack that is really good. Really gives a lot to that game series.
Which one would you say you preferred? 1, 2?
2 and 3.
I was gonna say 2 and
2
3.
and
for me
3
as
are the
well.
best. And the last one on my list, actually, I don't know if any of you have played Life is Strange.
I have not yet.
It's actually a really good game, but the soundtrack is phenomenal. It's specifically the first one I'm talking about, but it's all indie folk music.
Okay.
It's really, really good, though.
Okay.
Like, it lays a lot in for that game, you know. But that's what I got, I guess.
All
Yeah.
right.
That's what I'm
Okay.
taking.
Great.
So, check it out if you guys
Yeah.
are interested. There's lots of cool music out there for video
Tim,
games.
do you have a?
ton of great soundtracks.
You just want my noob answers, don't you?
Well, I'm expecting like, oh yeah, well I thought this Madden game had really good music, and
Well, I mean, Madden, I usually find my 2 songs I like, and I just make those the constant songs that play.
yep.
Yeah.
But the cult classic, Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I was gonna
Oh,
say
that's
that.
actually
Yeah.
not bad.
That's really good.
So
That's
there was
phenomenal.
that, and then I also liked Burnout Paradise. They had a good
Okay.
soundtrack.
That yeah, I forgot about both of those. Those are great.
So those are probably the 2 I would add. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
those are really
Okay. Hey, those aren't bad.
I guess yeah, because that's a soundtrack. I guess my first thought was music that was
Like
made
original
for,
scores?
like,
Yeah.
that were made for the game. But yeah,
But
those
yeah.
are great.
I mean, I don't have anything against
No, they're
original
really good,
music,
yeah.
but
Well,
usually
no.
if you open a video game and it's a song you like, you're like, yes, I like this.
Yeah, Burnout
really good.
Paradise is like honestly one of the best. I totally forgot about that.
Otherwise, Guitar Hero, Rock Band.
Those
Shut
are
up.
cop-outs.
Uh,
Like, I could say that's another cop-out answer to be Smash Brothers, because it's literally just
Oh, it has
all of
all the
Nintendo's
best
soundtracks.
Nintendo, yeah.
yeah.
mhm.
Yep.
For sure.
But yeah. So, I don't know. Some great choices here.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Now I'm
Absolutely.
gonna have to go off and play a couple of these games. Just
I actually reminded myself of Uprising. I might go home and play that when I get home.
but yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that game.
I always recommend play the game with the soundtrack. There, it adds so much to each other as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of the choices that made my list, the reason they made that list was because of how they interacted together.
Yep.
Like on
Absolutely.
Wind Waker, the timing of when the music plays and like what you're going through and how it actually emphasizes the atmosphere and how it complements each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, for sure.
that's why when I was saying play Final Fantasy VIII to get the soundtrack, that's why I say play Final Fantasy VIII as well.
Right.
The atmosphere builds on each other, so
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
just makes it that much better.
Yeah. Like
So
Wind Waker's sailing theme is one of
Mhm.
the most. Oh, I love that song.
mhm.
It's just it captures the essence of sailing.
It
on
does.
the like
Mhm.
open water. It's like awesome.
It really does. So that's, I think, good enough for this. So we
Yeah.
can keep
Well,
moving. But
well, it's 8
Yeah.
o'clock local time, so
I think that's a wrap, right?
Yep.
That's a wrap.
Jordan, what's your topic?
no.
I'm gonna say, do you really not want? I thought mine was a good one this
I was
week.
gonna say, did you ever decide? Because like half hour before you were
Oh
scrambling.
yeah. So when you hit go live, I still didn't have a topic.
Okay.
And then when I tweeted the stream out, it was like 10 minutes before we actually started. I still didn't have one. And then when I quote tweeted it 5 minutes later, I did have one. So I came up with this 5 minutes before. And honestly, I think it's an all right topic. It would be so like if you were back in time, if we were in the Dark Ages, like think of like a Skyrim or an Oblivion setting, right? Like in that time frame, what would your job be? Because obviously there's no technology, there's no modern things at all, right? So what would your job be? What would you
Blacksmith.
Because
I would love forging weaponry and
see
armor
that'd
and
be
stuff.
super cool. My two that I can think of would be I would be either a hunter or I would be a woodworker. I think both of those would be,
Carpenter.
yeah, be a carpenter or a hunter. Like those are kind of my two because I love both of them even
Mhm.
now. Like they're fun things to do.
I mean, there were like circuses and like battle arenas there, so I'm thinking like ringmaster or like the announcer for those things. Cause,
I mean that plays into your radio job.
yeah,
now, yeah.
so I'm thinking probably like something like that, some sort of entertainer type person.
in chat, blacksmith and ninja.
Forge your own ninja stars and
There you
shuriken.
go.
That'd be dope.
Mhm.
See, I think hunting would be super cool. I mean, obviously, I would need to use bows and stuff, but I mean that would be fine. But then, woodworking and carpentry and stuff, I think would
Kill
be really fun as
dragons.
well. Okay, I mean,
So-
not dragon, but sure,
No,
yeah.
dragons existed. That's factual.
You would just call it dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So
Legitimately.
I'm curious about Weston though, because I mean his career is computer programming.
Well, that's
Well-
why it'd be kind of an interesting thing. Like, what would if we were back in that time? What would you
Honestly, probably be either a scholar or an
Okay.
emissary, like a diplomat, because I'm really good at learning languages.
I was hoping Dragon Trainer.
Or
I feel like a historian or something.
yeah, that's kind of what I was
You know.
thinking for scholar,
do? Yeah.
like a historian of sorts.
Yeah.
But
A baker and just make sweet rolls.
that'd be pretty
Let me
sweet.
guess. Somebody stole your sweets roll. I actually make really good sweet rolls, by the way.
Um,
Do you
throwing
use
that out there.
your Skyrim?
From the Elder Scrolls
Yeah.
cookbook, yeah, the sweet roll recipe in that is 10 out
You
of
should
10.
bring some next week.
And we'll eat
I
'em on
brought them
stream.
before.
Hey, have we had them?
I have not.
I have
had
not
them.
had them.
Yes, I brought them to church on Thursday night one time, like a couple years ago.
I never had one.
I didn't have one.
I don't think I got one.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I think you gave it to everybody else but us.
No, you would have been one of the
We
first.
can have
people I gave it
a Gordon Ramsay-esque, review for your sweet
to. Oh
rolls.
God. Well, I know you guys are just gonna rip me apart because I
don't
made
know.
It, so.
I like
Actually,
food.
I
food.
like
You
food.
might actually get our love for food.
That's another thing. I like to cook too. So I mean,
A baker.
I would be more of like I go hunt my stuff and
Or
then
butcher.
I guess I could sell what I
You could
cook.
be-
I could.
What, somebody, I don't. Why can't I think of the word? Somebody who cuts a hair. Why can't I
Barber?
think
A barber?
Yes, and then you could make meat pies for a living.
Okay, Sweeney Todd.
I'm actually impressed you understood that reference.
The
Just be a
demon barber of
beggar,
Fleet
a
Street.
homeless man. Give me a coin, sir.
Why do you think I'd be homeless?
No, I said I could be.
Oh, I thought you were saying me. I'm like,
no,
man.
totally blacksmith though. I'd love
No,
to
he's
run
not
a
assuming.
forge.
He knows.
Oh, he just knows
Yeah.
I'd be the
Forge
homeless
would be
guy.
amazing.
Be dope.
I'd make the coolest swords and armor.
I could use your swords to go hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah, man. Like that.
Bring me the materials and I'll make you something sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I'll bring you the skins of the bears that I kill.
And, and then when I announce the battles, I'll be like, the swords today were provided by Jones Smithery.
Jones Smithery.
And I'll be your special guest.
It's a shame that his last name isn't Smith. It should be like Smith Smithers or something like that.
I'm glad it's not.
I'm glad it's not either. Well, that's actually funny because isn't that how like last names started?
Yeah.
Like
so
your
like
career.
the
Yeah.
Smith
Well-
last name is
Well,
In Europe, last names didn't actually start until roughly after the time of the Black Plague. Because
Yep.
most people stayed in their villages most of their lives. But they actually had to start moving around to fill in to other locations. And so they had to start saying like where they were from and had to give them a second name to actually refer to them.
Or a lot of like.
Or Jameson or Peter's son,
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like
You know.
Norse names would be like your Peter's son. Like so
Helen
your-
daughter, or something
Yeah,
like that.
so,
You know.
like, the name Johnson it's John's son.
Yeah.
Like that's that's
mean,
how those last names came to be.
Soaper, it literally is a soap maker.
So you would be a soap maker.
Yeah. So,
Tim's in
So-
charge of the bathhouse.
son of Nico. It would be me.
probably.
Nico in the
Nico's
night.
son, yeah.
Am I?
Call him Nico.
Well,
No, am I a product of Dima? No.
I'm descended of those
Yee-hoo.
who ran mills.
You're
Yeah.
the son of Blurry Face.
But, I mean...
Nice.
See, I don't know what the origins of Kuiper is. Like I've been told it's like Dutch, but I don't know anything. Or not Dutch. What is it?
Isn't that like a position or something like Kuiper?
I don't know
Well-
actually.
I feel like it is a position, like it's actual task.
I feel like it has to do with fish.
It might be. I have no idea.
You could look
I
it
don't
up.
know
I
though.
legitimately.
What
have
about
no clue.
Jones? Where's Jones come from?
It's pretty sad. He knows
Jones
the
is
origins of my
Welsh.
last name, but not
What,
me.
what is it? Any?
I don't think so. Not that I don't remember, but I know it's just weird because in the Welsh alphabet there's no J. So
Kuiper
Owns.
is a Dutch occupational surname meaning Cooper.
oh, it's a Cooper.
Ah.
Gotcha.
So the people that call me Cooper, they're actually right.
That's actually funny.
My a lot of people in high school, they just my nicknames would be it started out as Kuiper and then it was Cooper and then Coop Coop Kip Kip, like all this different stuff. So like Coop Coop was actually not too far off then.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think though, like the hunter, woodworker, like that'd be a fun life even now. But there's just no, like, kind of hard to be a professional hunter nowadays. Like
Go live in Alaska and be.
You almost need to be a hunter blogger.
Yeah.
Or
Jones,
vlogger.
Yeah,
Jones means Jehovah has favored,
Oh.
wow,
and it is
you're
a
important.
popular surname among European Christians. And
Wow,
yeah.
why is yours so important? Mine's just Cooper.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
Go look up mine now.
Yours
Yeah,
literally
'cause-
means son of Nico.
Yeah.
That's
You're
exactly
from
what it
Dima.
is.
I'm from Dima.
You are
I'm a product-
the spawn of Blurry Face.
No wonder I have so much depression.
And then we said Miller was a mill worker, probably.
Yeah,
Soap worker.
yeah.
Unless you go back to my mother's side, in which case I'm actually descended of the Claphams.
Miller's much better.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
No, Clapham. Have you ever heard of like Clapham Square in England?
No.
It's actually my ancestors that I was named after. That's where Buckingham Palace sits.
I have a park named after me. And
So it's not the guy who made
I was
the clapper
descended of
light.
Dukes.
Oh.
Which I mean, I guess that does mean I was descended of royalty, but most of us are.
Forgot I was watching football on my phone. I'm like, where's my phone so I can look up this stuff?
I mean, you've been watching I've been kind of looking over it and seeing, every once in a while I'll take a peek at it.
I was going to look up the actual full
So mine
definition of
is
my
a-
name.
Nicholson is a variant of the Scottish Nicholson, which is also
The son of Nichols.
it's also would be
Chris.
it actually is then translated to Nichols. So maybe
So you and
me
Chris are related.
maybe deep, way
Way back there.
By adoption.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I can't really be related to him.
I mean, that means that name is more yours than his.
Because he's what?
Give me your last name. Oh, wait, it's mine.
Christian, I'm sorry, dude. I love you, bro.
Because he's
We do
Guatemalan,
love you.
right?
Yeah, he's Guatemalan.
Guatemalan. That's what I thought. Yeah. God, that's awful.
It's terrible.
I love it though. Like it's awful, but it's funny. So you would be a Smith. Like, what would your backup be? Like, if you had to pick more than one.
Maybe a Fletcher or something. Make
Okay.
just arrows.
Make arrows. I mean, that kind of goes in almost with blacksmithing. in
It's
a way.
something like I like the kind of master arts, kind of thing where
Oh, yeah.
you take a creative outlet or something. You can
Yeah.
really master something.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I don't know. I like making things with my hands too. So
Oh yeah, pottery. That'd be another one because in
potter,
high school
right.
I loved doing that, man. Like that was one of my favorite things in high school was pottery class. So that would be another one that, if I had to pick, it'd be between the hunter, the woodworker, and a potter, I guess.
an artistic trade would be cool.
Yeah.
I see, like Smith, you can do anything. Like you like I said, you can forge, weapons, armor,
Yep.
all that kind of stuff. You can forge
Yeah.
everyday mundane things too. Just ironwork and
Make
whatnot.
a fork,
And you can
A
do
spoon.
jewelry and even glassware and stuff too if you wanted.
Dude,
Yeah.
making glass would be really cool. That'd be a cool thing.
That's a really cool art,
It
actually.
is extremely. I've seen videos
Glass
of
blowing
like,
and
glass
stuff.
blowing. I'm like, holy crap! Like,
You can do that over here, I think.
Well,
I mean, you
Yeah.
can do it, but it's just.
I think, like in the Lakes region, I thought there was a place you could actually do that.
Oh, is there?
they're actually in Spencer's Bogan Reef Studios. They're a glass blowing studio.
Cool. I did not know that.
Is Logan giving his? I'm trying to think.
No, I have not.
Oh,
Um,
sorry,
We're all
buddy.
giving
you're
seconds.
good.
and
Yeah, we went in.
I
With
feel
the
like
last
you're
name
gonna be a
talk.
jester.
No.
Or didn't he say priest?
Yeah,
Yeah, you just
mine's
say
still gonna
priest.
be a cop out because that's what I'm gonna be anyway. So like just a minister, just like priest, whatever.
Okay, so what would be his second since we're going around that one? too?
Second would be Dragon Slayer. Dragons
Hey,
existed.
hey.
Okay.
Hey, don't steal my title. You know who I am.
I think you should
right?
be a friar so you get the cool haircut.
Ooh, have you guys seen the picture of the circle beards?
Oh,
Yes,
they're
I
so
have.
dumb.
I have. Those are the
People are
worst.
So
morons.
I
Morons.
take, I
I
take
would
off the
actually
headset,
be,
but it like goes right here.
Yeah.
Just-
What is-
It's a chin strap all the way around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're terrible.
Yep. Seen him.
I want Dan to get one.
I would shoot myself.
What is what would be the position of like? So I'm thinking like The Witcher, the guy who sings all the time.
A
The
bard?
bard.
A bard. Yeah,
Or
A
the
bard.
minstrel.
There you go.
I'd do that.
Toss a coin.
If I wasn't like a priest or
Be careful,
something,
you're
I'd do
gonna get
that.
demonetized. Yeah. Or
You-
some strike or something.
You think I'm actually good enough for that? That's a compliment, sir.
They don't care,
They
sir.
don't care. They just look at the lyrics and that's it.
True though. No, I.
Dang it.
You'd be a bard. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but
Just
Why
make
can't
up
I see Logan?
cool music and bars?
I don't know when I think, and I know this isn't the case, but like when I think, he says I want to be a minister. Like back then, I think of the guy in Whiterun that's just screaming about Talos. Like he's standing there by the tree, just screaming through. Like you could hear him from half the town away, just screaming about Talos.
Like
and
the
that.
Madman.
Yeah, I can just picture Logan standing.
You could
in
be
the
you could be a
corner.
town crier. You just yell stuff like you yelled today's news. That was literally a position.
It
I
really
get,
was.
that'd probably be me, the news reader. Like that's what I do on
Yeah.
radio.
There you go. Then you get the guards to come up to you like in Skyrim. I need to ask you to stop that shouting. It's making people nervous. And you just one of the responses is, "There's plenty more where that came from," or something like that.
Second one, falconer would be fun,
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be
or
fun.
like
That
training
exists now.
training some sort of animal would probably be something fun.
Animal
Yeah.
trainer.
Falconry is a very time-consuming.
it's crazy.
That's a
I was-
real
it's
art.
cool,
That
though.
is
Yeah.
an art.
It
It
is.
is really
I
cool.
was watching Joe Rogan and they were talking about like how like some indigenous tribes do that, and I think there's one specifically that it's like part of their culture. And it's like
It's
crazy.
in Mongolia, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they like what they do is as kids, it's like a rite of passage. They have to climb up a tree where a nest is for falcons, and they have to take an egg, without getting killed, and like a lot of them don't survive, but the ones that do will hatch that egg and raise that like baby bird to like adulthood, and it's like their partner for life, and they're like bonded together, and they like hunt with them.
Well, what's the lifespan of a falcon? Hold on.
Actually, quite a few
Yeah.
years.
Well, I mean, it's a few years, but if it's their partner for life, though.
You also got to think
I
these
think
people
they
aren't-
last quite a while.
Yeah,
these people aren't
lifespan is not
lasting
great.
80, 90 years like we do.
Well, I'm thinking
you
even
know.
50, 60, you know, like let's say they
Yeah,
go
that's
in.
pushing
I'd
it.
say that's
40.
pushing it too.
You'd be lucky to get 20 to 30.
Alexa, what's the average lifespan of a falcon?
A falcon's lifespan is typically between 12 years and 18 years.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
a
I
good
mean,
amount.
let's say that they go in it.
Alexa, what was the average lifespan in the medieval times?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Well, I mean, you got to think though, even the average
30.
lifespan at that
30.
point.
40 was
Right.
old.
Well, I mean, yes,
Outside
that's
of
the
nobility.
average, but you got to think though, a lot of the babies, you know, if they didn't make it, that brings that average way down. Like if you made it past, what was it? I think there was a stat, if you made it past 5, then the average lifespan is significantly higher for those that actually make it out of childhood.
It's because toddlership is just so dangerous.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing though. Like if you made it past that, then your
Well,
average
disease
lifespan,
and pestilence
you know,
and
was
all
like
that stuff was
60 or
terrible back
something.
then.
Yeah.
When he was talking about going up and getting eggs, I thought of the Nacho Libre scene where he goes up and has to drink out of the egg.
Yeah. I love that.
I'd have
Oh,
the
yeah.
bout of the Eagles.
Falconry is a real thing, and like I watched this video on YouTube not too long ago that this, like, I don't know if she was, I think she was from America. This woman like was all into that and like went over there to like, I don't know if it's like in the Himalayas or something or whatever, where this like major group was or whatever, like the masters of falconry or whatever, this tribe, and she like learned it and lives over there and has a falcon now. It's like crazy,
That's awesome.
but it's
I'm
really
assuming that means
cultural.
after they made it, like 25 years after that age or
Yeah.
whatever.
That's what he meant.
Okay.
But no.
Okay,
So,
I was like,
honestly
if you
speaking-
survived at 25, your life expectancy was 23.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
so it'd be 23 years after. Okay, so yeah,
And to be quite honest, it's part of my retirement plan to become a falconer. So
Ooh.
there you go.
it is one of my life goals.
That'd be cool.
Bucket list stuff.
Yeah, 'cause I don't.
I have a lot of books on it and stuff. So
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
I did not know this about you. Learning something new every day.
There's a lot we don't know about Weston.
That's true. We don't know what he does when he leaves here. I mean, I honestly am
Well,
convinced.
lots of
that
that stuff he just doesn't tell you. So
Weston's mind are an enigma.
This is spilled milk.
you only get, it happens so often. You just get a random phone call saying Weston's almost dead in the hospital. So
Never answering the church phone again.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, because that actually happened.
To
multiple
me,
times.
I feel like
Not the
that,
church
that's
part,
a
but,
story
multiple times.
for a different day too.
How many times has Weston almost died and never told us?
and then shows up
Quite a
next week
few.
like nothing happened.
It's happened a few.
He's counting.
I remember 2 for sure, probably 3.
I know at least 5 times I've been hospitalized. So
Okay, I know I shouldn't laugh at that, but he's like, it's 2 for sure, maybe 3, and then Weston, no, it's like 5.
somewhere up in that range.
Weston has issues with communication.
and his body, apparently.
Yeah,
That too,
my body
but-
doesn't like me.
Communicating
It's
about
okay, I love you, Weston.
hospital issues.
He's just such a nice guy. He's going to put himself last, even if, like,
Even if he's dying, he'll be like, no, I cannot ruin their day by telling them I'm dead.
Yep.
Pretty much.
That's just who he is.
we like Weston.
Do you know what else we like? Finally getting to wrap up these episodes. So, guys, thank you for watching episode 19 of Uncalled For. It's been an hour, 20 minutes. I mean,
We're good.
Yeah, that's
we're,
good.
we're cutting it close. So, thank you so much for hanging
We
out and
got
watching, guys.
longer.
If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. You can also hit that subscribe button. If you're here on Twitch and you're new, hit that follow button and consider using that Prime sub because, you get a free one every single month. Otherwise, it is September. So all subs are 20% off this month. So maybe if you want to help support, help us get some equipment, all that good stuff, feel free, do that. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. We love you. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Take care.